So here it is, Burnley Council took a vote on whether or not we should have a national inquiry into grooming gangs. And as promised, I'm going to let you know what happened. First off, for those thinking, Jamie, why did this come to the council? Well, you may have seen the back and forth I've had with the Burnley MP on this issue. And so whilst the council obviously can't make the government conduct a national inquiry into grooming gangs, it can send a message on behalf of residents. Something we didn't get from the MP.
As many of you will have seen, I've had a back and forth with our now former Labour MP on this topic, because as everyone knows, this is still being debated in Parliament. But to me, this is bigger than any party politics. It's about unspeakable evil, and it's about those in authority turning a blind eye to abuse taking place in communities right across the UK. We've seen a systematic failure over the past 25 years in this country, but it remains one of the most disgusting and disturbing episodes to have ever taken place within the UK. And whilst I have a lot to say on the topic, I realise we're in a local council, and I'm going to save the long speech about why it matters, because we all know why it matters.
And it's at this stage that I genuinely thought, oh, well, everyone's going to support this motion.
What I will say is that I hope all councillors can support this motion. For those like me who want to see action straight away, it includes a call to implement all the recommendations from past inquiries. And for the wider public and victims of abuse themselves, it calls upon the government to run a full national inquiry so that no stone is left unturned. Because however detailed previous reports have been, areas of the UK have been missed out which need to be included. And that's something that's being heard loud and clear by victims. I appreciate Councillor Oscar bringing this motion to Council, and I'm happy to second it. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Now, as you'll see, once we brought the topic to the council, the first thing that happened was that the Lib Dems wanted the term grooming gangs removed.
We're proposing a small amendment to 3 sections, which I don't think needs printing out from everybody, but it's just basically to remove the words grooming gangs.
The wordplay was there, but we all know what we're talking about. So instead of grooming gangs, it was changed to child sexual exploitation. But even with that change, we still had opposition, mainly from the Labour Party, and make of that what you will, and also a couple of Liberal Democrats. Their main argument was that we'd already had inquiries.
As far as I'm aware, there's already been a 7-year inquiry into an extremely wide scope by Baroness J.
Yeah, it's true that there have been inquiries in the past. The last one, the biggest one, ended in 2022. But the point I made was that there are areas of the UK that aren't covered in any of the inquiries that have taken place so far, and is why victims are calling for a full national inquiry to provide the whole picture and join the dots.
Basically, what people want to see is people want to see a national inquiry into this issue. And it kind of touches on both of the points you and Councillor Townsend have raised. And I don't know whether it's through lack of information or not wanting to know the information, but ultimately, the report that you both keep referencing does not cover all areas within the UK. And the fundamental reason why a new national inquiry is being called for is because, A, that is what the victims are calling for. And I repeat that is what the victims want to see happen, because there are certain areas in the UK that are not covered within the report that's been currently done. And the point about the national inquiry is that it joins all the dots so that you can see a bigger and broader picture than what we currently can see with the current reports.
Then we heard the Liberal Democrat councillor Gordon Lishman tell us that the main issue was
Horrifying truth from the report is that you would start with the 2 largest Christian churches in the UK.
The motion as it currently stands in this council now, I'm happy to support, because I'm not going down the wordplay like you're saying. Grooming gangs or child sexual exploitation. I don't care how you want to phrase it. We all know the topic we're talking about.
because the main thing everyone wants to see is this evil stamping out. And make no bones about it, this happened on such a large scale because those in authority turned a blind eye to the issue. The mayor also thought it was too late to do anything. The old, oh, you've been in power argument. Well, I haven't, and what does that even mean? You've had your chance, now move on.
It's too late. They've had 15 years in government to sort this out, and they didn't.
It was then suggested that this was just political.
The reason they're doing it now is pre-election and it's political grandstanding.
But as Alan says, this is a national issue and we're years off a general election.
You mentioned you're not going to support this, that's fine. But also, there's not an election, a general election for maybe 4 years. So what's all this political bit?
So how did the vote go? Well, we supported it, of course. And to be fair, we were backed up by the Greens and most of the independents. All the Lib Dems bar a few voted for it, and Labour opposed it. And the oddest one was Jeff Sumner, the Lib Dem councillor, who abstained, and I couldn't tell you why. Anyway, the motion passed and a letter will be sent to the Home Secretary, which means now that my conscience is clear that in the role I have, I've done as much as I can in regards to making sure the government holds a national inquiry into grooming gangs. An absolutely evil topic. Over and out.